Yes, good evening, everyone. Please wait for 1 or 2 minutes. I'll just upload the slides for you. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope my voice is audible now. Due to the network issue, hello. Good evening, everyone. Audible? Yes, thank you. My voice is coming right. Once again, yes, audible. So, due to the power cut and network issue, it has been delayed by 10 minutes. Don't worry about that. Uh, I will keep to see that how best I can deal with you. Yes, thank you so much. Slides are visible. Slides are visible. Planning slide I have put it. Is slides are visible. I have put it a planning slide. Is it visible? Jayashri, yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So in this today class, we are going to discuss about the important function of management is planning. So yesterday we have gone through the process of management or function of management, where it speaks about the different functions of management like planning, organizing, directing, staffing, and controlling. Today we are going to see one important function in that is called planning, and we also understand yesterday the importance of leadership in the organization, how a leader should be, what are his qualities should be, and how leader should be behave, etc. So today in this class we are going to see the importance of planning, planning functions and significance or characteristics of planning. So yesterday we have discussed planning is all about what is to be done, when is to be done, how is to be done, and who is going to do it. That is very important, called as planning. As we know, it is a fundamental management function which involves the following factors into consideration, or we can say it is a future course of action. Simple term, if you want to say, it is nothing but a future course of action where we are going to make the following plan. So every organization, every management will make plan in order to achieve the organization goal or organization purpose. So next important is the characteristics of planning. You maybe get hardly a 5 marks question. What are the characteristics of planning? How planning works? So you can write in a diagrammatic way or you can put in a point way. So I have given you here 6 to 7 characteristics of planning. One is planning is a managerial function. Definitely, we can say it, we can agree it because it is the important function of management. Then it is a goal oriented. Number third, it is pervasive. Then four, it is a continuous process. Then fifth, intellectual process means it is a process, it is a steps, right? It is a series, it is a cycle through which we undergo the following steps. Then it is a futuristic plan, definitely futuristic thinking or the futuristic action oriented. Then finally, planning involves decision making. So these are the important characteristics of planning. Let us discuss one by one in a simple way to understand, and it is best way to see what actually the characteristics speaks. Number one is a managerial function. As you know, the term itself indicates managerial means it is a function of management, and it is the first characteristics or a planning is the first function of management which gives a base or which gives the other functions of management a way, means it will set a roadmap through which the other functions will takes place. Planning is just called as a blueprint, we can say, or planning we can say a roadmap. I am giving different definition to you in a simple term to understand. So it is a blueprint or a roadmap which helps for the other functions of management called as organizing, directing, staffing, and controlling. These other functions of management are performed within the limitation or a boundary or within the periphery of the plan made by the earlier function called as the managerial function or a plan. Number two, we will see a goal oriented. Yes, definitely planning is set in order to achieve the goal of the organization. Here, you will get at two questions. What is the difference between objective and what are the difference between goal? Once again, maybe a 5 marks question. Differentiate between objective and goal. If you have a paper and pen, kindly note down what are the differences between objective and goal. That one I will deeply discuss with in next PPT or next slide. So here, definitely the planning is made for achieving the goal of the organization, achieving the purpose of the organization, achieving the agenda of the organization. That is called as goal oriented. It majorly focus on defining the goal of the organization. What is our goal? If you see in any company or organization, they will put the mission and vision statement in their organization. If you are working in an organization, you can see that by tomorrow, if you are going the company, they'll put the mission and vision in the front side, where when you enter the organization or whenever you are roaming the organization, you can see what is the mission, what is the vision of the organization. Why they will put in a big board or a big hoarding? In order to every employee of the organization should know the mission and vision statement of the company, and they should know what is the purpose, why the company has been established, what is the goal of the company. So number third is called as pervasive. So pervasive here in the sense that is the present in all segment and is required at the all level of organization. So there are three levels: top level, middle level, and operation level. Although the scope of the planning varies at a different level and department. Yes, definitely the planning will be varies from different level, top level, middle level, and operation level, but the goal will be same. So in order to achieve the goal of the organization or the goal of the company, the planning will be keep on changing, just like objectives. So that is the major difference between objective and goal. Goal is a long term, whereas planning is goal is a long term, whereas objective is a short term, right, through which the goal can be achieved. So planning is a roadway by achieving the goal of the organization. Yes. Next, planning is a continuous process. Yes, definitely planning is a continuous process. It is a process of a series where every stage or every level we keep on going, we are keep on doing planning in order to achieve the purpose or goal of the organization. So plans are made for specific term, say for example, a month, a quarter, or a 6 months, or yearly, etc. Once the period is over, the new plan will be drawn and considered for the organization present and future requirement. Means plan are maybe for maybe for the meant for 1 month, 6 months, or yearly. Or once the plan has been finished, in order to achieve the goal, we will try to go for different plan in order to achieve the final goal of the organization. So therefore, it is an ongoing process or it is a continuous process, as the plans are framed, executed, and followed by the other plans. So next, intellectual process. It is a mental exercise and it involves the application of mind. Intellectual means a human resource. They need to apply the human mind in order to achieve the goal of the organization. So it is application of mind to think, to plan, to forecast, to imagine, the intelligently and innovate in order to achieve the purpose of the organization. Hope my voice is audible and I am reaching to you. Am I reaching? Just one message so I can continue. My voice is audible. I am reaching to you. Hello, I am at the right way. I am reaching you. Hope you are understanding what I'm trying to convince you. Yes, I got message. Thank you so much. So next one is futuristic. Characteristic of planning is futuristic, which speaks about the future. Futuristic speaks about the future. It encompasses looking into the future action to analyze, to predict, so that the organization can face the future challenges effectively. Because the environment is keep on changing, maybe you will get the challenges over a period of time. So here, the planning is called as a futuristic thinking or a futuristic decision making through which we can get prepared for the opportunity and challenges coming over a period of time. Then finally, decision making. So what do you mean by decision making? Decision making is nothing but a selection of best alternative out of many available alternatives. We are going to get many alternatives in our future, but we need to select one best alternative out of many alternatives. So that alternative, that decision making should be help for achieving the goal or achieving the purpose of the any organization. Yes. So here the planning is concerned with setting objectives, setting target, formulating plan. These activities like objectives, target, plans helps the manager in a better way to analyze the present condition to identify the way of attaining the desired future goal. So these three objectives, target, and plans are helpful for the manager to achieve the desired goal of the organization in the future. So these are the characteristics of planning. One is managerial function, goal oriented, pervasive, continuous process or ongoing process, then intellectual process, futuristic thinking, then finally decision making. So next, in a simple way, importance of planning. So why the planning is significance? Why the planning is important in the organization? Many will get a question whether without planning can we not able to achieve the goal of the organization? Without planning, can we not able to achieve the goal of the organization? Yes, we can achieve, but it is difficult to achieve in a proper way, a right way, and a right purpose. The planning is very important step, a first step we can say to achieve our goal, achieve our purpose. So we have to plan properly. And planning is not only one way to, we have done the plan and we see that our objective will be achieved, our goal will be achieved. No, we should be implement our plan, execute our plan, evaluate our plan, and see that our plan should be in a controlled way or not. Many times we plan today 4 o'clock I will attend management organization class. That is our planning. But implementation, many people will not able to join because of so many reasons. That is called implementation. Planning can do anybody, but implementation, achieving that plan is very important. If you're not able to achieve that plan, then your planning will be waste. You have planned in the morning that I will attend today MOV class, but you cannot. You are planning waste. So whatever the planning you have done, it is a waste. So in the organization, whatever the planning we are going to do, it should not be go waste. It should be implemented, evaluated, see that the planning is moving in a right direction to achieve our purpose or a goal of the organization. That is the importance, that is the significance of planning. It is not that simply everybody can plan, right? Tomorrow morning for an exam, I will get up for 4 o'clock. Then I will put the alarm. Once the alarm will ring, we will stop the alarm. 1 second we will sleep. We have made a planning in the night, but morning we cannot able to execute because of environmental circumstances, environmental condition, right? So here the importance of planning provides direction. Definitely we can say planning provides Direction. It gives a direction. It gives a roadmap. It gives a view where we are, where we want to go. It set a roadmap to achieve our desired goal. So planning achieved here, objectives are certainly asserted, so they serve as a model for determining what action should be taken and in which direction we need to be go. If the objectives or the object or the purpose will well defined, well established, the employees are informed of what company has to do and what they need to accomplish those purpose. That is very important. Giving a direction for the subordinates or employee to achieve the plan. Then planning decreases the chance of risk. Yes, definitely. I told in the beginning, without planning, we cannot able to achieve the goal. Yes, we can achieve the goal, but definitely it will reduce the risk or decrease the chance of risk. Without planning, maybe a chance of risk, but if you had a plan, there is a reducing the chance of risk. The next, planning decrease overlapping and wasteful activities. Definitely, simple way of understanding is planning decrease the overlapping and wasteful activities. It can be reduced. Definitely. Then planning encourage innovative ideas. Yes, if you have a proper plan, it will encourage the innovative ideas through which we can able to see that. Then finally, the planning aids in decision making. It encourages the manager to look into the future and make a decision for several alternative of plan. I told decision making is nothing but we are going to get many alternatives. In that, we have to select one best alternative which will be satisfy the needs of the planning, and the planning will be able to achieve the goal of the organization. That is very important. So this is called the importance of planning. Like planning provides direction, planning decrease the chances of risk, planning decreases the overlapping and wasteful activities, the planning encourage innovative ideas, then planning aids to help in decision making. I am reaching you. I am reaching you. Yes. Maybe due to the small font, the view cannot be able to see properly. I'll just read it to you. Kindly note down the point. So steps are process of planning. You will get a good question, 10 marks here. My voice is audible, right? I am reaching you. I am reaching you. Just a message so I can continue. I'm audible. I'm reaching you. Hope my voice is clear. Yes, I got message. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Then you will get a 10 marks question. Explain the steps. Explain the process of planning. It's very important. If you see any question paper, you will get this question. What is planning? Explain the steps of stop messaging. Thank you. What is planning? Explain the steps or process of planning. Process nothing but steps. So here just note down because it's not clearly visible because of short font. Number one, establishing objectives. Kindly note down. Number one, first step, establishing objectives. Establishing objectives. Number two, determining planning premises. Determining planning premises. Determining planning premises. The number third, determining alternative courses. Determining alternative courses. Then next, evaluating alternative courses. Evaluating alternative courses. Next, selecting the best course. Selecting the best course. Next, formulating derived plans. Formulating derived plans. Then finally, implementation of plans. Implementation of plan. Yes. So these are the steps. These are the process of planning. Number one, establishing objectives. So here the plans are prepared with a view to obtain or with a view to achieve a certain goal of the organization. Here, very important to establish the objectives in order to achieve the plan. So we have made a plan. So for that planning, we are going to set some objectives. So objectives is important steps in the process of planning. Means establishing objectives is very important steps in a planning. The plan should reflect the enterprise's objectives. Means whatever you are going to set, that should be reflected by the objectives. So how the objective should be set? And what are the objectives should be set? So objective should be clearly defined as to what is to be achieved by policies, procedures, rules, strategies, budget, and program. As you know, objectives fixed must be clearly indicate what is to be achieved. Every employee of the organization should know the objective of their planning. So objective should be clearly indicate what is to be achieved, where action should be takes place, who is to be perform it, how is to be undertake, and when it is to be accomplished. Very important. All W's, how, when, where, whom, etc. So here, while setting objectives, we should set an objective in a certain way that the objective should be measurable, the objective should be clear, the objective should be visible, and the objective should be achievable. Means we have to set the objectives in a such a way that at the end of the period, we should be able to achieve our objectives. Means you should set your objectives by seeing your strength and weaknesses and your ability. I set my objectives that I want to marry Aishwarya Rai. Whether it is achievable is not very important. If it is achievable, you can set, right? So objective should be set in such a way that it should be achieved, right? I can marry a girl, achievable. I can marry a beautiful girl, achievable. Right? Setting an objective that I want to marry Aishwarya Rai, whether it is achievable, definitely not. Right? Means my intention here is to see that how objective should be. Objective should be measurable. It should be able to measure, clear, visible, and it should be finally achievable. Then only the objective should be set. Next, determining the planning premises. Premises includes actual forecast data, policies, and the plans of the enterprise. Planning involves looking into the future, which necessitates the enterprise to know how future condition will affect the activities. How the future condition, future circumstance, environmental factors which are going to affect the plan. So here we need to understand the prediction of general economic conditions, prediction of market condition. Two important factors. One is economic condition. Number two is market condition. So which clearly gives the planning premises. The next, determining alternative course of action. Determining alternative course of action. So evaluation. So here, determination. The planner should study all the alternatives. The planner should know all the alternatives available, considering the strong and weak point of each one of the alternatives, and finally set most promising one. Means he will get a different alternative course of action. So in that he should see that which is the strongest one, which is the weakest one, and he need to select one best alternative out of many available alternatives. Then after determining the alternative course of action 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are A, B, C, D. So in that we have to evaluate which alternative is best, whether A, whether B, or C, or D, or whether 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. We need to evaluate. So evaluation involves the study of the performance of the various action, various factors such as profitability, investment requirement, etc. Such alternative should be weighed against each other. Means we are going to see, we need to compare alternatives by one another. Each alternative should be closely studied by to determine the suitability in order to achieve the goal of the organization. Then nextly, selecting the best course. Means after the evaluation, we need to select one best alternative which will be able to help for achieving the goal of the organization. Then lastly, we have called as formulating that plan and implementation of that plan. I told many people we made a plan, but we cannot able to formulate, or we cannot able to what, implement the plan for the achieving the objective or goal of the organization. So here the main plan should be supported by number of derived plans. In formulating plan, the main plan will be followed by or subjected by the number of derived plan. So implementation is the last step where the process of planning ends. It involves putting the plan into an action. Earlier in the first stage, we made a plan by setting some objectives, and at the end stage, we need to achieve our objectives by implementation of our plan. Implementation of plan requires establishment of policies, establishment of procedures, establishment of standards, establishment of budget, etc. So we can able to implement our plan. So this is all about planning, importance of planning, then steps are process of planning. So number one step is establishing objectives, determining planning premises, determining alternative course of action, evaluating alternate course of action, selecting best one, then formulating, then finally implementation of plan. Yes. Next. Am I clear? Am I clear? Am I clear? Hope I am reaching you. Somebody has written not visible, sir. I have put at slides types of planning. Is it visible? My voice is audible. I am able to convince you with my subject. I am able to convince you with my subject. Are you able to convince me? Yes. Chandan, Sadia. Yes, thank you so much. Hope you are following me. How many are there in the classroom today? I cannot check the number here. How many are there in the classroom today? Yes, thank you. Very less. Day by day it is reducing. Yes, good, right? 300, 200, 150, 100, then fourth, fifth, sixth class, 50, 60, then finally only one person will be available. It's me, right? Okay, thank you so much. Stop messaging. So next concept is called as types of planning. So as you know, for the management point of view, planning will be followed by three important types, broad categories. Number one is called as corporate planning, strategic planning, operational planning. Three types of planning: corporate planning, strategic planning, operational planning. Three types of planning. So corporate planning in simple term, what? If you have a paper and pen, just note down. Corporate planning nothing but what. Strategic planning is nothing but why. Then operation planning nothing but how. Simple way you can understand easily. Corporate planning is nothing but what. Strategic planning is nothing but why. Operation planning nothing but how. Yes. What do you mean by corporate planning? It is a process that is specially used by businessmen or businesses to map out the course of action to grow. Means in order to grow our plan, so corporate people or a businessman's will set a course of action to grow, to increase profit, to gain exposure, or strengthen their brand identity is called as the corporate planning. Once again, corporate planning is the process that will be specially used by the corporate people or a businessman or a industry or a company to map out the course of action to grow, to increase profit, to gain exposure, or strengthen the brand identity. Corporate planning is a tool. We can say it is a tool. Corporate planning is, we can say it is a tool that successfully business used to leverage their resource more wisely than the competitors. Means this is a tool used by the company in order to overcome the competitor. To create a successful corporate plan, you will need to follow the following points. To beat a successful corporate plan, you need to have some following point. Number one, first you gather the information. Number two, set objectives for the corporate plan. Then devise strategies to meet the goal or a plan. Then implement your plan. Then you need to monitor the planning performance. Then finally evaluate the effectiveness and success of your plan. Simple. Evaluate or success of your plan. So next one is strategic planning. Strategic planning is all about why. Strategic plans are well about why things need to be happen. Strategic planning speaks about why the things need to be happen. It is a long-term thinking. It starts at highest level with defining a mission and vision statement. Strategic planning is the highest level which clearly defines about the mission and vision statement. Strategic planning includes high level of overview, or we can say it is the foundation of any organization and will dictate a long-term decision. With the help of strategic planning, we can able to go for a long-term decision. So here the strategic planning may be for a period of 2 years, or strategic planning may be for a period of 10 years. So here the main component of strategic planning is your vision, your mission, and your values of the organization. Then lastly, we have called as operational planning. Operational planning speaks about how. I told you in the beginning, how the things need to be happen. What is to be done? Strategic say why is to be done. Then operational will say how the things need to be done. So this type of planning typically describe day-to-day activities. Operational means functional level or lower level of management, where it keeps day-to-day activities like production, operation, services, sales, etc. So it is described as a single-use plan or ongoing plan, means continuous plan or ongoing plan for achieving the objectives. Single-use plan are created for the event and activities. There are two types of plan: single-use plan or ongoing plan. Single-use plan are created for event or activities, whereas ongoing plan created for policies, for approaching the problems, rules of specific regulation, and procedure, step-by-step process for particular objectives. So here is called as operational planning. Day-to-day planning or daily activity planning, we can say operational. So one is corporate planning is what, strategic planning is why, operational planning is how we need to achieve the things. So this is called as types of planning. You maybe get a 5 marks or 10 marks question maybe here. Types of planning. If you get a 5 marks, write this diagram, explain 4-5 lines. If you get 10 marks, explain half of page for each. What is corporate planning? How the corporate planning will be done? Then what is strategic planning? How the strategic planning will be done? Then operational planning. What are the operational planning? What are the operational heads comes under the operation? So we keep on explaining. Yes. So next. So here just I'll go through with the point. I'll not go on explaining. So next important concept is called as decision making. So here you will get a good 5 to 10 marks question. What is decision making? Explain the process or steps in decision making. What is decision making? Explain the process and steps of decision making. I will not going to explain each and every element here. Just I will leave for you. You can write in your exam. So I already told that decision making is nothing but it is the process of selection of one best alternative out of many available alternatives. So we will get many alternatives here. So we need to select one best alternative out of many available alternative. This decision making helpful for the future course of action for any business. So here the company will go for the process or steps in decision making. So number 1, identification of problem. Why we are going to make decision making? We have to identify the problem first, then collection of data, analysis of data, evaluation of data, and finally implementation of data, then lastly control. Once again, the process or steps in decision making are identification of problem, collection of data, analysis of data, whatever we have collected in the second step, then evaluating of data with best course of action, then implementing the data whichever we have selected or collected, then finally we need to see whether we are moving into a right direction or not. That is called as controlling or control. So these are the steps in decision making. Next, another important function of management is staffing. So planning, organizing, directing, staffing, and controlling. So today we are into the staffing function or a staffing process of management. So the staffing process includes the following steps once again here. Number 1, manpower planning, job design, recruitment and selection, training and development, and performance appraisal. Once again, manpower planning, job design, recruitment and selection, training and development, performance appraisal are the process of the staffing. Next, so these are the important concepts which are fetched in your examination, and even it is there in your study material. Centralization, decentralization, and departmentation. So these are the 3 important concepts: centralization, decentralization, and departmentation. Maybe you will get 2 marks question, maybe you will get a 5 marks question here. What is centralization? What is decentralization and departmentation? So centralization refers to the process in which activities like planning and decision making within an organization are concentrated to a specific leader. One person is going to centralize the whole thing like planning and decision making. The whole activities of the organization is going to be centralized by a centered person. We can say a leader, or example we can say a manager, or any person who is authorized by centralized. Through his leadership, we are going to achieve the following objectives. So decentralization nothing but opposite, means the authority, decision making power, or the decision or planning are decentralized, are divided, or transferred to different level of the managers or leaders. Decentralization refers to the process of transfers of control of any activity or organization to several local officers, authorities, rather than a single person or a single leader. Means authority should be, power should be delegated or transferred to the different level of managers or leader. Then finally we have departmentation, which refers to the process of grouping the activities into department. It is a simple way, the processing or functioning or creating are a grouping of many activities into several departments. So division of labor creates specialist who needs coordination. This coordination is facilitated by grouping specialists together in a different department available in the different levels of the management. It may be top level, it may be middle level, or the operation or functional level of management. So this is called as centralization, decentralization, and departmentalization. Centralization is nothing but simple. The authority or planning, decision making will be by a specific leader. Decentralized nothing but the authority, planning, decision making will be decentralized to the different level of managers. Then department is nothing but grouping of different activities into different department. Yes. So this is all about planning, planning process, steps in planning, staffing, and other aspects. So now let us move on to the organization. So earlier what happened, this management will be a covered in the 6 hours because of single subject, but now it has been combined with management and organization. So I am taking you here for the 3 hours only. So now we will switch for the organization one slide, then we will end the class. From tomorrow, I'll continue with the organization. So for time being now, I'll take one slide for you, what actually the organization is, how organization works, what are the types of organization, and what is the importance of working in the organization, and what is the importance of attitude and behavior in the organization. That is very important. Up to now we learned about management, how to manage the things, right? Who to manage the things, when to manage the things, where to manage the things. That is very important. So management is all about managing ourselves first, then we can able to manage the others. It is a skill, it is the art of getting things done from others. It is not that we need to be done. Yes, I'll just upload the slides for you. I'll add organization behavior. So if you see the term OB, organization behavior, organization is different, behavior is different. If you see the combined word, it is called as OB, organizational behavior. Can we say organization will have behavior? Can we say organization will have behavior? Definitely not. It is not the behavior of the organization. It is not the behavior of the organization. It is the behavior of the people who are working in the organization. It is the behavior of the people who are working in the organization is nothing but called as organizational behavior. Yes, I have uploaded this slide. Maybe it will take me a time to add it here. Just a minute. So most of the students, you people are working in the organization, you know the importance of the attitude and behavior. Especially in my offline class, I'll stress for my students that importance of attitude and behavior. And even I told you, I'll in the next slide, I'll go for the differential between the objectives and goal. It is there in my next slide. But for time being, just 1 or 2 minutes, I'll ask question to you. What do you mean by attitude? What do you mean by behavior? Are both are same or different? If different, what is attitude? What is behavior? If yes, whether you are attitudinal person or behavioral person. Look, I have given many questions. Whether you are attitudinal person, whether you are behavioral person. If you go through my the class of first to sixth class of organization behavior, finally you will definitely you will ask yourself that what is your attitude and what is your behavior? How I am behaving in the organization? How I am showing my attitude in the organization? Whether I should be changed or whether I should be modified, whether I should learn, etc. Yes, 1 or 2 questions, 1 or 2 answer. What is the difference between attitude and behavior? What is the difference between attitude and behavior? Yes, anybody? Anybody? What is attitude? What is behavior? Are you with me? Are you with me? What is attitude? What do you mean by behavior? Yes, somebody has written attitude is how we approach different situation. It can be positive or negative. Attitude is personal mental view. Yes, attitude is the internal aspect. Very good. Someone has written Nanda Kishore is very right answer. Attitude is internal aspect, whereas behavior is external aspect. Yes, somebody has written, please share PPT. It will be helpful for studying. So that's what I am putting PPT for the class. You attend my class, write down the points. That will be helpful. Sharing PPT means no use of conducting class. Simply, I can share the PPT. I can switch out the class. No, I am putting a PPT here. You should listen. You should take the points. That will be remember in your mindset. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Simply sharing the slides means no use of conducting the classes. We are putting the slides here to understand in a better way. So attend the class, get the benefit, take down the points. That will be helpful and it will be useful in your mind. Yes, many people have written very good answer here. Maybe you are in the right track. Syed Azhar, Deepika, Shashikala. Yes. So I'll go with your way only. Attitude is an internal factor, definitely, whereas behavior is external factor. Attitude cannot be changed, but behavior can be changed. Attitude cannot visible, but behavior can visible. If you are in my offline class, you can see my behavior, what I am behaving, how I am behaving. Behavior is an action, definitely. It is a moves. But you cannot see my attitude, what I am thinking. So attitude is thinking, whereas behavior is behaving, action, showing what I am doing, how I am doing. So attitude cannot be changed many a times, but behavior can be changed by learning, by environmental factor, etc. So attitude and behavior are two important factors for any human being, especially for the MBA graduate like you and me. That too, especially who are working in the organization, these two concepts called as attitude and behavior play a significant role. So we need to keep on change our behavior due to the environment condition, circumstances, guidelines, etc. For example, simple way to understand, to see your attitude and behavior. If you are in my offline class, in a four wall of a room, you are sitting, I am taking a class for you. You may be, I can see your behavior in the classroom, the way you behave, the way you listen me, the way you see me, the way you understand me. But I cannot identify your attitude, the what you are thinking inside. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಸಾರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಸಾಕು ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ಏನು ಸಾರ್ ಇದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಈಸ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್, ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಮೂವಿ, ಲಂಚ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ attitude. But behavior is which can be easily seen, which can be changed, but attitude cannot change. I can change your behavior. You should not do like this. You can change it, but attitude is very difficult to change. It should be internal. You need to change yourself. Otherwise, the environment, circumstance, other person are learning cannot be change your attitude. Yes, this is how the attitude and behavior. Yes. Next, what do you mean by organization? Organization is nothing but a social relationship for the accomplishment of goals, which can be done through the group efforts. So I have given 3 elements here. One is social relationship, number 2 is goal, number 3 is group efforts. So organization is nothing but, number 1 is social relationship, organization is nothing but it is a goal oriented, organization is nothing but group efforts, means organization is all about social relationship. Then big question, what do you mean by social relationship? How this relationship should be established, develop, maintain? A big question. Once again here, attitude and behavior play a significant role. Organization is a social relationship, Why it is required? Social relationship is required in order to achieve the goal of the organization. How this goal can be achieved? Which can be achieved not by individual person, it can be achieved through the group efforts. So organization is a social relationship, goals and group efforts. It is a process or it is nothing but a social relationship for the accomplishment of goal which can be done through group efforts. So in organization, there are different set of people are available, different mindset, different ethics, different principle, different values, different norms, different culture, different knowledge, different attitude, different behavior. Look at how difficult to work within this kind of circumstances. That is called as importance of management and organization. How you people are going to adjust, male, female, right? If you see still in our rural area, like mentality of the people will see that we should not able to mingle with male and female. Female healthy, don't mingle with boys. We will tell to the boys, don't mingle with female. But if you come to the organization, we need to meet a diverse set of people with different culture aspects. So organization is once again here, it is assembly of men and material. So 4M of management, we know men, machinery, money, material. So it is not only a assemble of men and material, it is a creation of relationship among related people. Means organization will create a relationship among the related people. So here the social relationship is very important in order to achieve the goal of the organization. One with other person, if you're not able to develop a social relationship, it is very difficult to achieve the purpose of the organization. Because in organization, we are going to work in a group, we are going to work in a team, we are going to lead the team, we lead the group, right? We are working in a group. So in a group means a different set of people will be available. So we need to be develop a good relationship, good understanding, good cooperation, good coordination, good interrelation is very important. I am giving many words. So organization is nothing but delegation of authority and responsibility. So we have understood what is authority, what is responsibility. Authority is power, responsibility is duty. Authority is power, whereas responsibility is duty. Yes, kindly bear with me another 5 minutes so I can complete the class. So next. Once again, organization is nothing but a group of people who work interdependently towards some purpose. I have given different meaning. A group of people who work interdependently towards some purpose. It is a structure pattern of interaction. It is a coordination task. It is a working towards some purpose. I have given clear direction to you. What do you mean by organization? Organization is all about this. A group of people who are working for a common purpose. I told in the beginning of the management class, where individual are achieve here their own goal, but directly or indirectly, but they are meant for the goal of the organization, not for the individual goal or objectives. The next important is, you will get a 10 marks question. What do you mean by organization? Explain the nature and scope of organization. Take down fastly. What do you mean by organization? Explain the nature and scope of organization. So number 1, as a process. Number 2, as a group. Division of work. Dynamic activity. As a process. As a group. Division of work. Dynamic activity. Coordinated efforts. Cooperative relationship. Common objectives. It is an art and science. Then finally, defining authority and responsibility. Once again, it is a process, as a group, division of work, dynamic activity, coordinated efforts, cooperative relationship, common objective, art and science. Then finally, defining authority and responsibility. All the aspects I have discussed one or other way, like a process called as a steps, right? A group is nothing but a people who are working for a common purpose. Division of work, the work should be allocated with a different group of people or a different department, so the organization can be smoothly able to achieve the purpose of the organization. A dynamic activity, because it's keep on changing the culture, behavior, rules, policies, norms, structure, etc. Then coordinated efforts and cooperative relationship means every employee in a group should be equally put his efforts, equally should be coordinated with one another by developing a good cooperative relationship, respecting each other, understanding each other behavior. I should respect your behavior, you should respect my behavior, I should respect your culture, you should respect my culture, you should obey what I am saying, I should obey what you are saying. Then only we can develop a good cooperative relationship and a better efforts in order to achieve the common objectives of the organization, in order to achieve the common purpose of the organization. Hope you are catching me. Next, what organization will do? Organization will helps increase our specialization. If you are a MBA graduates of finance, marketing, HR, operation, law, tourism, etc., definitely with the help of your applications, you can able to increase your specialization. So organization helps increase specialization, use large scale technology. It helps in adoption and make changes in the technology, addict to the technology, uses large scale technology, manage external environment, very important, then economize on transaction cost, then expert the power and control. So organization helps the following: number one, increase specialization, use large scale technology, manage external environment, economize on transaction cost, and expert power and control. So whichever I say important, you can note down, but it is not required. Just because of how and what then organization will do, I have given you. One question is important in the earlier slide, that is called as nature and scope of organization for 10 marks. Next, another important question is types or forms of organization. What are the different types or forms of organization? That is called as formal organization, informal organization, small organization, medium organization, large scale organization, profit making organization, and non-profit making organization. Once again, formal organization, informal organization, small scale organization, medium scale, large scale, profit making organization, and non-profit making organization. Like service organization, we can say, NGOs, we can say. So these are all comes under the non-profit making organization. Education institution, hospitals, even though they are making a huge profit, but even though they are making huge money, but still they are comes under the ambit of the non-profit making organization. So these are the different types of organization comes to our picture, formal and informal other things. You can easily go through it. Yes. So I'll stop for another 2 slides. Just to give 2 minutes. Now, up to now, we have understood what do you mean by an organization. Now, an organizational behavior. I told you, it is not the behavior of the organization. It is the behavior of individual person who are working in the organization. It is not the behavior of the organization. It is the behavior of individual person who are working in the organization. So organization behavior nothing but study of human behavior in organizational setting. It is a study of human behavior in organizational setting. Once again, it is a study of those factors. I will tell you what are the factors. It is a study of those factors that affect or that influence how an individual, how a group act in the organization. Means we are going to study the following different environmental factors. These environmental factors, how it is going to be impact or influence on individual, how it is going to be impact on a group, how they are acting in the organization, and how an organization can manage their environment. Means manage their attitude and behavior of the people who are changing. That is called as an organization behavior. Yes. As an MBA student, why we need to study a subject called as organization behavior? Why we need to study a subject organization behavior? Number one, to understand individual behavior, we need to study OB. To understand group behavior, we need to study OB. To understand overall behavior called as organizational behavior, we need to study OB. Why we are studying? Mainly three foundation you should never forget. One is OB is nothing but individual behavior, studying of group behavior, studying of whole organization behavior. You should never forget, right? Studying of individual behavior, studying of group behavior, and studying of organization behavior. It means that how an individual will behave when he is individual, how an individual will behave when he is in a group, how an individual will behave when he is in an organization. Right? Same person. If I put you Sachin Kumar or Saujanya in an individual, his behavior is her behavior is different. If I put her in a group, her behavior is changes. If I put her in an organization, once again his behavior is changes. Why? Why the behavior is keep on changing? Because of the levels of management, because of the stages of management, because of the different set of management here. Individual, our behavior is different. When we are in a group, our behavior is different. When we are in the organization, our behavior is different. So it is very important to study organization behavior. Why we need to study? In order to know individual behavior, in order to know the group behavior, in order to know an organizational behavior. So with this, I'll stop here. I'll continue with the tomorrow, same by 4 to 5. Then Wednesday, 10 to 11. Then 4 to 5. 2 classes Wednesday. Then I can finish the things. So you will never forget what should I tell you. Organization behavior is all about individual, group, and whole organization. Individual, group, and whole organization. Thank you so much. We'll meet once again in the next class tomorrow, 4 to 5. Hope whatever I am trying to convince you, I'm able to reaching you, right? I'm able to convincing you with my information, right? Thank you so much.